Disney Fantasy. Please welcome aboard the Seevers family.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Take 10 with Shane and Michelle. And Shane, we are happy to be here, girl. We are talking all things Disney Cruise. A plug for just, Shane, I think a short week ago, you and I posted a cruise announcement, and if you guys haven't seen that yet, we're going to put a link right here in the video to where Shane and I announced a November very maritime cruise on the Disney Treasure, my first Disney cruise, and we are super excited about that. We watched the new documentary, all kinds of fun things.
Yeah, so I'm so excited because we do have the Seevers with us, but I tell you what, I get so excited, like taking you on your first cruise. I wish I was with the Seevers on theirs because you guys, I just get so excited. It's like taking the kids to Disney for the first time. Like the cruise is just such a different experience. And so I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys about your experience.
I am too. Now, they weren't supposed to go on one without me, but we're letting that slide. We had talked about it. I said, it's okay. I'm getting on one in the same year, just a little bit later. All good there. This is Austin and Meredith, good friends of ours from Ohio. And they when did you guys go? How long ago now?
We just went a few weeks ago.
End of March.
Yeah, spring break.
Well, why don't you tell our listeners and our subscribers all about, first of all, why did you decide to go on a Disney cruise? And then tell us like the ship you picked and the itinerary.
Well, I think the reason that Michelle is upset that we didn't go on a cruise with her is because we've been to Disney, I don't know, I'm throwing this number out there. Let's say 30 times. And we've been to Disney with Michelle 29 times. So,
and me about half of those times.
Yeah, and Shane, you've been on a lot of those as well. So I think that's why she was wanting to go on the cruise. It was just something, kind of a whim that we wanted to do. We picked a shorter cruise. It was the Fantasy. We didn't know anything about the ships, so we can talk a little bit about those. But the reason that we picked it is because we've never been on a spring break trip with our kids. We have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And
perfect age, by the way.
Yeah,
I agree.
Perfect age.
And this spring break just worked out, and so we were able to take a short Disney cruise. We didn't pick the ship as much as we picked the date and itinerary. So we love the ship, and we'll definitely talk about that.
Awesome. Okay, so Disney Fantasy, March spring break with the kids. What was the itinerary again?
Mm-hmm.
That was when Shane and I talked about that, we're like, okay, that's next. Talk about it.
The first full day was a day at sea, which I was actually most nervous about. And the first island was, oh my goodness, Lookout.
Yeah, Lookout Cay.
And then Castaway Key. And it was perfect.
So yep. You double dipped.
We double dipped. And it was, I don't know if I could ever go on a cruise and not double dip. I know,
that's what I was thinking.
We started out pretty big.
You did. So let's talk about the new one. So let's talk about Lookout Cay. So first off, because I'm that person, did you back in to Lookout Cay or did you pull in to Lookout Cay?
No,
okay, hang on a second. I want to hear her answer because she was never up early enough to see the port. So
no,
she has no idea.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, Shane, I don't know. I woke up and we were there. I mean, we slept.
Do you know why that's important? At least for me. Do you know why that's important?
Why?
Because when you choose your cabin on the ship, I like to be on the side that you're like pulling into the island so you can see the island, or maybe you could see it on both sides. I'm asking, so when I book to go to Lookout Cay, do you know, like, so when you left the ship, did you see the rear of the ship or did you see the front of the ship when you left?
We were not. So if you pick your room, we were not. And I learned this all the language of the boat. So Michelle, you got to learn the different language on the boat because it's not the front of the boat. It's not the back of the boat. It's all. I still don't know aft and whatever.
Aft is the rear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were not port side. So for Lookout Cay, we backed in.
You backed in, okay.
But our room was towards the ocean. So we had we're a family of 5, so that it automatically put us in a family suite, and we had a veranda. And so the way that we looked out was to the ocean and not to the island.
Gotcha.
Which
Good to
I
know.
recommend. Because when we got back from that day, the kids were taking a quick nap and we just sat out on the veranda and just looked at the ocean. It was so pretty.
It was.
What'd you do? Like, did you get off immediately? Well, obviously you weren't up very early to like get your breakfast to go off early.
No, it was
I would have left her. But anyhow.
So it was delayed, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes, but there was a lot of wind at Lookout Cay. And so I was up with a few others in the aft. At the adult deck there, and there were a lot of people up there drinking their coffees, watching the ship back in. Very, very, very windy. But after we had breakfast, we got off whenever we could. There's a little bit of a crowd as you get on and off the boat, but it wasn't bad.
Where'd you head when you get off the boat?
So you get off the boat, and I know you guys have read this and watched the YouTube videos. You have a walk. We didn't think the walk was that bad.
And we had 3 little kids, and they didn't complain once.
It wasn't
10
a bad
minute,
walk.
15 minute. What do you think?
Yeah, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll say this, you will never see water, at least for us. We've never seen water like we've seen at Lookout Cay. So
clear.
It was extremely clear. We saw on the way coming back to the ship, we saw a manta ray, which was huge.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
we did the long walk, and when you get through the long walk, I think that's where you had to get your towels, right?
Yes, you get your towels before you get on the tram.
You get on a tram, and it takes you for a little bit of a ride, which you can still see some of the island wildlife. We saw crabs and everything around. And then it took us to the hub there at Lookout Cay. We didn't do any excursions because first cruise, short cruise, it was just at Disney's 2 islands, and we wanted to take the islands in.
Did you go to a beach, or what did you do there?
We walked. There was how many stops? Because we kind of went like the furthest down to the beach before getting to the adult beach. We didn't really know what we were doing. The sand was the whitest, softest sand too.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so the kids, as soon as we laid our stuff down, the kids were gone. And the water, I'm not going to lie, the water was very cold. I dipped my toes in and I was good, but they loved it. They had chairs. They had like chairs that laid completely flat, or then they just had like beach chairs. You just grab them and go sit like in the surf. It was great.
At both Lookout and Castaway, they had plenty of chairs for everybody to sit. But when we first got to Lookout Cay, we were there pretty early in the morning. When we say early, we were probably on the beach 9:30, 10 maybe. Extremely windy. So they had a black flag out, and they had all kinds of lifeguards going up and down the shore, not letting people swim.
Okay.
By lunchtime, that was lifted. So the kids went out to, they let, people go out to waist deep for kids, and they played a little bit.
Can I give you a hot tip?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hot tip. So learned that whole lesson about excursions. Okay, so there are lots of fun excursions. I know with that 5, and even with us when we first started, these are expensive. I didn't want to pay a lot. So you take a small suitcase or a bag or whatever, and you bring your own floaties. And we brought our own lay down floats, or your ring floats, or your little beach toys. We brought them in our own little suitcase. So it appeased not having to pay for their flotation devices or whatever.
So
now,
not so much at Lookout Cay, but at Castaway Key, a lot of people had the big round inner tubes, and the kids were like, I want one. I'm like, we're not going to go rent one. So that's good advice.
That's a hot tip, Shane. That's a great one. So if you want to just, because you can just blow them up when you get there.
Exactly.
While at Lookout around lunchtime, we went and ate at True 2. That's where we were at. True 2 barbecue. Between the two islands, very similar lunch. I liked Lookout's better. Had a good spicy chicken sandwich that I liked. Their wings. Both places have great ribs. I liked the Lookout ribs.
How did you eat the ribs, Austin? Did you use a fork and a knife, or did you pick them up?
Oh no, we were down into those into those ribs.
Thank you.
So I got to tell you funny. I got to tell you something real funny, real quick. So when you get on, this so you know, Michelle, when you get on a cruise for the first time, it's like you lose all sense of who you are. So I can't tell you the last time that I have drank pop. I'm not a pop drinker.
Right.
Wasn't on the ship an hour. I don't know if we had the Castaway party yet. And I'm like,
no, we went straight to Cabana.
Yeah, we're drinking fully leaded Cokes, not even the Diet Coke. We're just drinking all kinds of pop, filling it up. So when we were at Lookout, they got all your soft drinks for free. You've already paid for.
Free. Calories don't count on a cruise.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I remember a short interview from some kiddos who's like, what's your favorite part? Yeah. Well, I do understand the unlimited ice cream serving is quite the thing. And I don't know if you can get the price of your cruise via ice cream, but I'm sure they tried.
No, the Seevers kids, they did a good job getting the ice cream, and so did I. I love soft
Did you make a float with the ice cream and soda?
I didn't, but they had one day, actually it was on Lookout. They had banana flavored ice cream, which I'm a banana person. Oh my gosh. It was so good. And I'm like, I probably didn't need that.
So I wanted to back up a little bit because we jumped right into the island.
I can still talk more. We love Lookout. Yeah.
Okay. You love. Okay. What else was it? Because that is one Shane and I are not getting the opportunity to see on our cruise. We're going to Castaway Key. It'll all be new for me. I haven't done any of it, but talk about any other highlights. Cause that's what a lot of people, I think it's officially called Lighthouse Point at Lookout Cay. Yeah. I think is the official Disney term. What else were the highlights of that island? I heard clear water. I heard good lunch. The sand was fantastic. What else stood out?
They did a really good show.
Yeah, we'll send you a video. There was some of the locals did a music type of festival and brought a lot of people together. They played some music. People were dancing, and the cast members did a great job of helping get people that were there to interact in the dance and show. That was a good time.
I'm going to do a quick plug for the cast members. You saw them everywhere. Like, they did. And they were so involved in everything. Like, there was one guy we met, I think his name was Jordan. We met him at the
Sail Away.
The Sail Away. We saw him every day doing something, and he was always had a smile on his face, and just they do a great job.
And we'll come back to the cast members because I think that's the thing that separates it. But real quick with Lookout, we had another family from here that they have kids, our kids' age. And so they didn't get to Lookout until lunchtime. So we were there a few hours before them. And then when they got there, the flag was lifted. And so we swam in the ocean and the water was really clear. If I would take anything back, this might be a hot tip that you have, Shane, is that at Lookout specifically, I would have brought my own snorkeling gear because we put on our kids goggles. My other dad friend, we put on some of our kids goggles and snorkeled, and the snorkeling was incredible. There's all kinds of reefs around there.
Suitcase full of stuff for the beach saves you so much money.
Well, I would love to do that snorkel. I want to do a selfish plug right now because the video coming out before this is Shane and myself and our 2 handlers, aka the husbands, are just putting up our Great Barrier Reef
Great.
Oh, wow.
snorkeling video. So we're kind of, hey, I may not be a Disney cruise expert, but I've got a little snorkeling under
that's
my
right.
belt.
You-
So I'm
yeah.
going to do that. And that sounds fantastic.
But I can't think of anything negative about Lookout. The only
No.
negative was I wish we would have had Castaway's weather
Yeah.
at Lookouts
Okay.
day, because it was windy and it was a little bit chillier.
The kids didn't mind. I mean, it didn't phase them one
Yeah.
bit.
Once
that
you
it was
got in the
windy.
water, your body got used to it. I will say this, since you guys are going in November, the cast members told us
Mhm.
that we were there at a perfect time. And in the fall, when you guys are going, it's a perfect time.
Mhm.
They say the summer is
hot.
unbearable. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. So Lookout Key, absolute hit.
I have one more question. Did the kids check out any of the kid facilities or any of the kid fun activities?
Not on the
that?
islands.
Yeah.
We walked
Okay.
past it. Lookouts on the island was just a giant splash pad.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
we're like, let's just stay at the beach, because there wasn't, and parents couldn't go with them.
Right.
And so it wasn't like we were doing anything there wasn't anything Meredith and I wanted to do that the kids couldn't do
Yep.
with us on Lookout, but we went and looked at those. Shane,
Okay.
it was really nice, but it was a huge splash pad that you would drop them off. Now they had some other family things that were like,
Now, were the
water
slides or something?
slides and stuff
Yeah,
like
they
that.
want for everybody to get on.
Everybody can do that. Yeah. And we walked over to that, but
Okay.
they wanted to spend most of the time at the beach.
What about cabanas, private cabanas? Did they have those on Lookout? And were people using them?
So I'm not sure if people were using them, but they were pretty far from where we were.
They were.
Okay.
So when you finish your walk over, that's where the cabanas are. And so
Okay.
the people that had the cabanas, they stayed there, and we had to get on the tram and drive. So I honestly didn't know if many people
Yeah.
used them.
Why don't we just jump in? Let's just do the comparison right now, Shane. We're talking islands.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your last day, then we'll go the in between the sea day. Compare it to Castaway Key, because both are new for you, right? You've never been on a Disney cruise. Castaway Key is their signature island that they've had for years. What did you think?
We really like Castaway, and I'm glad that's a staple for Disney.
Yeah.
It seemed, I could be wrong on a landmass picture, it seemed a lot more contained than Lookout did. You could see Castaway, and everything was in one shot. You know, maybe you've seen pictures of it with they wall off, you know, their beach area, so it restricts large wildlife coming in. So that makes the water there extremely calm. They have a big play area in the middle, which again, our kids saw that there and saw that at Lookout, and a lot of the other kids, they just wanted to be in the water, in the beach and play around. It seemed more contained, seemed a little bit more accessible than Lookout. Definitely not as long as a walk. You didn't have to take the tram if you went to the very first stop at Lookout. We went to the second stop, and the reason is because our waiter there that we had every night, he told us where he was going to be at on the island. So Michelle, the cast members wear 3 or 4 different hats all week. They could be leading the dance on Sail Away. They could be serving drinks at your dinner. They could be, you know, picking up trash,
hosting trivia.
Yeah,
for the
hosting
kids.
trivia. I mean, they're everywhere doing all kinds of different things. So we wanted to go see where he was. So we took the second stop, but it seemed a lot more manageable of an island. It seemed like you could see everything all together. Where Lookout, and you were you didn't know where you were at as much compared to.
And Lookout was so pretty because it seemed like a really long shoreline.
Yeah.
I'll plug in side by side. If I can find a good image, I'll put that in right here, because I think Lookout is part of a larger island that Disney just owns part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Well, they're renting part of it. I don't think they own it. They're renting it. I read that somewhere anyway.
So because of that, the the amenities were much closer. I think we did walk a lot more at Lookout Cay. So I liked Castaway because it was kind of closer.
Yeah, she liked it a lot better.
I could, keep track of the kids and, you need to go to the bathroom. Okay, it's just a really short walk, which I will say, as a mom, the bathrooms, and I heard this on a podcast, the bathrooms at Castaway are very dark. And they're supposed to be, it's all themed. But we would walk in and our youngest would go, could you turn a flashlight on? So that is my only negative about Castaway. And the bathrooms at Lookout Cay were very bright. But if that matters. But I heard that on a podcast. I'm like, that's something really weird. It's very
And
true.
you saw it. And you guys had great weather at Castaway.
Beautiful. Oh Castaway was amazing. Like I said, the island was more manageable. We did the snorkeling. Mm-hmm. We did pay for that. I rented gear and rented Abigail gear. There was another 9-year-old and her dad, and I took out Abigail and the other girl, and we had a hoot trying to teach them how to snorkel. It was at a point too where it was like, hey, you're either going to get this or you're going back. Like, where it was taking a while. They got it. They loved it.
They loved it.
I did it once by myself. It's a big U, and it's a workout. It is a workout to do the snorkeling. It's a big U. With the girls, we did half the U, and then we came back because it gets really deep out there. They give you all the fins, the snorkel, the mask, the inflatable vest. You do not see a lot of fish. You'll see some fish. Like I said, Castaways really guarded their beach. You'll see some fish, but the big thing is, and I know you guys know this, is all the Disney characters that they put in the water. And that's
what I was going to ask you, if you made it to those.
Oh, yeah, we saw them. Well, I saw them all. We saw half of them with the girls. We saw the sunken ships, the Mickeys, the Dumbo.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it Prince? Who's the prince off of Prince Eric?
Prince Eric.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. He's out there.
Come on, Austin.
Come on, Austin.
I want to say King Triton, but I know he's the one with the. So that was a lot of fun. That's a must do.
Well, that's more staged than what you're going to get. That's why I didn't know if Lighthouse Point had something like that.
They didn't have. Well, we didn't see that they had anything. Yeah. Lighthouse Point seemed a lot more raw of an island. And then Castaway was more. It was Disney.
Well, let's talk about great coverage on the islands. Sounds like it was terrific. Everybody,
food's good, both places.
Yeah,
good. Okay, love that. Talk about, all right, so you had 2 islands. It was 4 nights, right?
4 nights, yeah.
4 nights. So you did a sea day in between the islands.
No, the first day. The first
day was sea. Talk about what you guys did on a sea day. Okay.
I've always been very skeptic of cruises. Like Austin and Michelle, you've talked about cruises. I'm like, it's okay. I take it all back. But I was very skeptic.
Right.
The day at sea was so much fun. We were probably up at Cabanas eating breakfast before 8. Yeah. And the kids were so excited.
Oh, hang on a second. We also tried breakfast room service, which we found out that we didn't like.
We did not like that.
But we did that the first day, and then we still ended up going to Cabanas.
So we had our coffee delivered, but we didn't really order anything but donuts and pastries. We're like, let's go get real breakfast. So we went to Cabanas, which was fantastic. It's huge and it was fantastic. The app is fantastic because they give you a list of everything going on. So it's Disney. I don't know why I was surprised for all of the kid activities.
Yeah.
We got to go and color at one of the lounges, and there was playing music, Disney music. And again, the cast member, Emily, she was great. She talked to all of the kids there, was going through the markers. And then we saw her again, actually. The amount of activities, I was so impressed. And just before lunch, we did like 4 kids activities.
Yeah.
We made goo, slime. Abigail got to make
Stitch goo.
I'm like, okay, great.
So this was all out, not in the kids clubs.
No.
So
this was all just activities. Is it called the Navigator?
Navigator. And I'll say this because this is something that we didn't know. The whole time I'm like, where is this stinking schedule? I could not find it. They kept saying everything's in the Navigator app. you don't get any information on your cruise until you hook up to the cruise Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Once you hook up to the cruise Wi-Fi, it tells you everything. Your schedule.
I want to know beforehand, Shane. I'm going to struggle. I want to know everything.
So, hence why you try to go early and get on early if they allow you.
Which we got on. Well, we got on before lunch, but we still just did it. You know, nobody told us, hey, you should really get on the Wi-Fi. But it was amazing. We did coloring. We did Toy Story trivia. We did another trivia.
Didn't you guys almost win a trivia? You told me
we should have won the Toy Story.
She's still bitter about that.
I am a little bitter.
Oh, I'm going to do trivia.
Okay, so hold on. You still have not said my family's favorite thing yet. And if you didn't do it, you have got to book another cruise just to do it.
Oh no! What was it?
I'm hoping we get to book another cruise.
Towel folding. Did you not go to the towel folding?
No. We did not.
They had that. We saw it available.
Like every day they had it.
Oh, Michaela and Joe, since she was little, that was their favorite thing to go
like
do.
An Evelyn thing.
I can see Evelyn wanting to do that.
Yeah.
But I loved the day at sea. We just walking around, you really got a feel for the ship, where things were. The kids loved it. The kids loved walking around and running around and looking at the big windows. We did take a tour of, I guess that was the day before when we first got on, of the kids club. So we showed the kids, like, at any point, if you guys want to come to the kids club, this is where we go. We went ahead and registered them.
Would they have all three with their ages been in the same one?
They were. So we were lucky with that. And then again, we were lucky with the friends that ended up being on the same ship. Their kids were our kids' ages. And they did go to the kids club twice.
Oh, okay. Not as much as you thought, probably, right?
Yeah, the parents, we went and got some coffee and just had an hour of.
That's what the kids
wait.
Like, bye.
That's exactly my next question. Did you at all experience the adult area?
Yes and no. So we did. We went to the adult area. There was a coffee shop there. Mm-hmm. There was a lounge there. Mm-hmm. We didn't, because it was such a short cruise, we didn't do the pool. And then we did not do any of the spa treatments. So the 2 days that we're only there 3 days. 2 days were island days, which were a wash. And then the day that we were on the boat, I'll even back us up. Right after we had breakfast, before any of the trivia happened, we explored the ship again. And that was really cool because we were in all kinds of spaces where there was nobody there but us. I highly recommend, if you guys are early birds, walk the ship. Yeah. You get to see some cool things all by yourself. So then we did all the activities. When we took the kids to kids club in the afternoon, we went with our other friends to a place in the back, the aft. You got to remember that, Michelle, the aft.
Got it. Aft.
Yeah. And the adult lounge area and hung out with them for some time. But other than that, no, we didn't do any of the spas, and we just didn't have the time to do it.
There's one other thing that you guys have not talked about, and if you did not do it, I'm going like,
we're not doing well then.
Did you not do the coaster?
Oh, the aqueduct, yeah. So
okay,
I did not.
We did that the day we embarked. And then we did that on the sea day, and it was a lot of fun. I will say this: it's a lot of fun to go out, and there is a time you go out and you look out and you're just over the sea and you come back, but it is a long line. I mean, it's like getting on Space Mountain or something like that. It is a long line.
What about the shows on this ship?
So, let's talk. Yeah, the dinner and show. So
dinner and shows. Let's talk about that.
And so, to Shane's point, we had the early with the aqueduct. We had the early dinner, which we can talk about those. Those were amazing. Then we had the later show. There was a little bit of some time between the dinner and show, and I would walk up, and we would walk up. We'd see the aqueduct, we'd see the lights, just kind of roaming around. And there were people who were skipping dinner and eating at cabanas. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing? I mean, you eat this food; it's the same food all day long." And they would swim and they would skip the show and skip the dinner. And I would say aqueduct was fun, but don't skip your island day for it. And I wouldn't skip the shows for it. The shows were amazing. We had Aladdin
the first night,
which there was a Jafar was a Broadway.
He was a Broadway actor. He was,
Yeah.
because they didn't tell us who it was. They said, "Oh, we have a Broadway actor on the ship." And as soon as Jafar came out, Austin's like, "That's him." It was an amazing show. They did
plug for our
great.
Aladdin on Broadway.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
The kids, and so again, we were with probably 10 kids, and it held all of their attention.
The genie was incredible.
Oh, genie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the second night was Frozen.
Austin's
We-
giving it thumbs down.
So we actually left halfway through it. So because we did the early dinner, our show started at 8:30.
Yeah.
So, it was a little bit later.
That's getting late. Yeah, for kids.
And we had been at Lookout. So it had been a long day. And it's basically the movie. Again,
Okay.
they didn't take any liberties with it. My opinion, the singing, the Elsa just, and so Evelyn was sitting on my lap and she was getting tired. And Austin's like, "I'll take her back." And Abigail's like, "I want to go." I'm like, "Let's just all go."
Yeah, you
So we
knew
just all
at
went
that point.
But then, and somebody had led us wrong. Somebody told us that the Frozen was better than Aladdin.
Well, the Aladdin, the genie took a lot of, like you said, liberties. He held your attention. He used verbiages that were modern,
Oh yeah.
hot topic things, even cruise related things.
Mhm.
The Frozen was just like you were
movie.
like you pressed play and watched the movie. There was nothing different.
Yeah.
So Frozen, and the third night was Snow White, the movie. They did a premiere.
The theater release.
Oh, that's right. You guys saw a movie on
The
the
kids
ship.
and I went and saw it. I thought it was wonderful. The kids loved it. The friends that we were with, they really enjoyed it too. We had been listening to the soundtrack in hopes that they were going to show it. So I was a big fan of it.
I will say this: the night of Snow White, Meredith and a couple other moms took the kids, and then my friend and I went to, I forget the name. It was an Irish pub, so you would have loved it, Michelle.
What was it?
Something Gills, I think.
Oh, Gills.
Oh, Gills.
Oh, Gills. I heard that on another podcast. Yes.
And the reason we went there is the only place that had TV on the whole ship that we found, and it was during March Madness, so we watched a few games there.
We didn't talk about. Was there a pirate night?
Well,
so much fun.
But talk about the last play we saw, because this was the
yeah.
best.
Well, let's
Okay.
end
There
on
was
that. We'll
another
come to
show.
Pirates.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It was called Believe, and
yeah.
is it on all Disney cruises?
I think so.
I think most of them, I've seen them several times. So
It was great.
isn't it the best?
It is the best. And so the guy, the Broadway star, he played the main character, and it was just so good, so well done.
Yeah.
The kids loved it. I sobbed at the end.
That's what I'm going to say. I cry every time.
It's a great way to end your cruise.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Agreed.
They tug on the heartstrings.
But Pirate Night. Yeah, Pirate
Night was a blast. We got shirts made from Etsy beforehand, and they have our names on it and the pirate theme. That was fun. That was just normal. I mean, some people go over the top with all their pirate stuff.
The amount of leather I saw.
Yeah, Jack Sparrows. I mean, it looks really authentic. It was a lot of fun. And what Disney does well is they prep you the day of. Actually, it starts the night before. The waiter said, "Hey, tomorrow night is Pirate Night," and it's kind of prepping you on what it is. And then when you wake up, you have a cruise director that talks every night at the shows and talks over the speakers when you port and when you leave the port, and they talk about Pirate Night. And on the day of, they talked about it all day. They put the bandanas in our room. And
so because they have the whole show up on the deck, and they do fireworks.
amazing. We'll send some pictures.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I'd love to see pictures.
It was amazing.
So I will say, on the last night, though, I don't know, like if your kids was all into autographs and this, that, and the other, but I don't know if they still do it. But typically on that last night, later in the evening, every single character is out there. and they do that in the evening, and they
Oh,
do their little
yes.
thing, and then they spread out, and that gives you that chance if you miss somebody. And I think that's a whole nother highlight of a cruise.
So you are so right. And just the characters, because they walk around. So we've been to the parks how many times? We have never seen Cinderella. We saw Cinderella just walking around.
And it was on the last night. Cinderella,
yep.
Belle. Yeah,
the girls got to see her. And then Mulan. One day Mulan was just walking and Evelyn ran up to her. She grabbed Evelyn's hand and was just like walking her through.
Did you do the photo package? I can't remember.
We did.
We did.
You did. Okay.
Totally worth it. I mean, I understand it was kind of pricey, but like all of the pictures that we have, it's great.
It's memories for a lifetime, like those,
Yeah.
and they take such good pictures there.
They do.
So we took pictures everywhere, like
Yeah.
even at each island they did.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Do they have, when you would walk in and walk out at
Yes.
Castaway, you know how they have the big buoys there where you can
They
get
did.
pictures and then you go, okay. Did they have that at Lookout too?
We got some pictures at Lookout. Now I'm going to have to relook, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Okay.
great.
Okay. What was your favorite dining location?
Yeah. What was your favorite?
So we had Animator's Palette. We went to the first night. We did Enchanted Garden
Yes.
twice.
Okay.
And what was the last
Royal
one?
Court.
Okay.
Royal Court.
I think I liked the Enchanted Garden. We had a great table. We were at a table along the wall, so we had a big window, had flowered lights that as the dinner went on, they opened, and it just, that was my favorite.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I also had my favorite meals there. We had Pirate Night there, which Pirate Night, they have their own menu across the ship. I would say Enchanted Garden was my favorite.
Probably, I think that first time is when I had a prime rib that was really good. Yeah.
Nice.
The food was amazing. I mean,
Good. So the quality was good.
And the amount of food you get.
Oh gosh.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
I'm afraid.
Because it's Shane and dessert. So I have to ask you if you did what Shane does. So at the end of the meal, they would say, so what dessert would you like? And I would say, bring them all. So did you ever have a bring them all night?
I think there was one night we had 3.
We got multiple so we could try them.
Yeah.
The kids, inevitably, actually one night they got a sundae, but every other night they got
a Mickey bar.
Yeah.
That was their favorite. And if you ever need a review on the cheeseburgers, Palmer had a cheeseburger every single night. And for lunch. We love their cheeseburgers.
All right.
Why not?
The other thing is
Thumbs up for the cheeseburgers.
Our waiter knew. Like he caught on that first time, and they always had our drinks, same drinks from the night before.
They were
That's
incredible.
just another thing about the cast members.
You were going to come back to that. Let's talk about the Disney difference and the cast members. You're Disney fans, first and foremost. You're Walt Disney World goers, many, many trips. Talk about the cast member, because I think we all know, I mean, these are not inexpensive vacations, a Disney cruise.
So I think that's the Disney cruise, it's incredible. I'll say this about the rooms. You get room service, or you get bed service twice a day. They come clean your room up after you leave in the morning, and then they come back while you're at dinner. They make your bed. They got our kids' beds ready, put all their stuffed animals on it. That's when you see the town. The islands are great. The food is great. All of those things. We didn't get a lot of merchandise, but Michelle, you know me, had to get a mug.
Oh, you got a mug. That's really great. Is it dishwasher and microwave?
It is.
Yes,
I checked.
it is.
Don't worry, Michelle.
But other than that, we didn't spend extra money. So it is expensive, but I'll say the thing that gets you back is the cast member experience. Walt Disney World has a certain higher level of cast member experience, but we've never experienced anything like we did as far as customer service goes as we did on the Disney cruise. You would walk in the hallways that are cleaning your room would know your name.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, how do you know our name? They would talk with you. The cast members we've alluded to that you'd see everywhere. We were coming back from Castaway Key, and I said, whoever's leading them, whoever's casting this vision, has done an incredible job for these people to grab a hold of that vision, because we were coming back to the fantasy ship from Castaway Key, and there were probably 50
Oh my gosh. At
cast
least 50.
members running to get on the ship.
Not only were they running, they were laughing.
They were
and
laughing,
they were
yeah.
happy, like, to get back on the ship.
And they were having a good time. I'm like, what? They are just thrilled. They're going to be in a different outfit in an hour, and they're thrilled to get back. And they're onboarding. There's got to be a study in there. But the dinners, they went over the top, you know, towel in your lap every night, never had an empty drink, always a clean table. The first night is when they get to know you. They'll ask a lot of questions. You'll get to pick a drink. You know, we got ginger ale because we never felt a boat move, but we both like ginger ale too. And they're like, hey, if you ever think you need something to drink ginger ale. That'll help settle your stomach. But we never felt that. We just got it the first night. Every night that we showed up, our drinks were there where we sat the first night. And so we had the same seats. Obviously, you can change your drink, but they brought the kids' drinks out. They started bringing the kids' fruit out early because we asked for fruit the first night. There was just a lot of anticipation. They were ready for you, knew you by name, and they looked to see you out at different areas. And I'll say this: the first night, we had one little hiccup. I won't go into detail with. We shared one little hiccup at Animator's pallet. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Pallet. Still great experience, great meal, everything. Had one little hookup with the Turtle Crush at our table, and it bothered me. It had to do with one of our children, and I was like, "This isn't the Disney way." And I know there was a misunderstanding there, but it didn't sit well with our daughter, and so I shared that experience with guest services. The lady that I shared that experience with was very empathetic because there was a connection that she had with my daughter around this same topic. And I said, we're not looking to get anything. I'm just telling you this because there was a misunderstanding with the turtle. And if this happens again to the next group, it could affect another kid. And I just didn't want that to happen. And she's like, thank you for sharing that information. I thought that was it. Every night that we went back to our room, there was a package waiting for us and a handwritten note from the lady that we talked to at guest services. And it was a package of goodies one night. The next night, it was
extra bandanas and chocolate gold coins.
They had, I don't know, probably 100 of the chocolate gold coins that said "Dead men tell no tales." And our kids were able to pass those that chocolate candy out to other kids on the boat. And so her name was Adriana, that worked at guest services. And she, again, hand wrote a card every night. But we even saw her at guest services on the island. And I would walk up to her and say, hey, this is my daughter, Evelyn. Thank you so much. Just wanted you guys to meet. And I thought, okay, they got us a gift basket. It never stopped. And they did it every night, and they wanted to make sure that we knew that, hey, this is the Disney way, and we're sorry that you experienced something different. The last night, and we should have brought it in. The last night, we go to our room, and they have a picture booklet there that you had to buy, and they took a picture. Somehow they logged on. They found our family. We took a picture like on the first or second night. On the stairwell. They printed that 8 by 10 off and put it in a booklet with the Disney cruise
characters
on the outside, but it was the fantasy on the inside. It was open up. You had fantasy on one side and our family picture on the stairwell on the other. And that was a costly gift if you try to buy it separate. And it was just, they went above and beyond. They went over the top in every capacity. So we've dropped names of cast members throughout this. Meredith mentioned the girl that helped with coloring at the Pixar coloring experience, where she also did the Toy Story trivia, and we saw them all throughout. There was a lady on the back of the boat at a lounge called Meridians, and her name was Felice, and she became a friend of ours. And we'd see her throughout the boat, and she would say, "Hey, I hope to see you all, later." They just short 3 days. I don't know why they called it a 4-day cruise. It was a 3-day cruise, but the cast members, you honestly felt like in that 3 days that they became family.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the thing that would say, you know what, we're going back again, because just the experience of feeling not only welcomed, but hey, we're here for you was
Well,
a big
a
experience.
question that Shane and I are on the edge of our seat because of all that. Shane, you told me they have something that you can do called a placeholder cruise, right? Did you
We
book
did
one?
it. Absolutely, we did. Absolutely, we did. And there, I would 100% recommend every person to do it, because it is refundable. If you don't go, you get.
Well, they
your
already
money
know
back.
I'm going with them on that one.
Yeah.
There's no way. We've
And you
already
get a
talked
10%
about it.
discount.
Yeah.
It seems like they have nailed it. I
nailed
can't
it.
wait to experience it. You guys, we went probably longer than we wanted to with you. We appreciate the time that you've given. Sounds like it was a phenomenal, amazing experience. The one thing we didn't ask, did you guys book yourself or did you use a travel agent?
We used a travel agent. And
Okay.
the reason that we did, it's the first time we've ever used a travel agent. Michelle, you and I have booked a lot of Disney trips together. Just didn't know of all the different documents and passports and all the other things, if that's something that we had time to put in. So we used a travel agent, and it worked out really well.
Well, we can say, I mean, let's promote. You guys went with Magic for Less,
Yeah.
right? Magic for Less Travel, which has a podcast called Be Our Guest. And Austin and Meredith and I are part of the Be Our Guest Lizards running group. So, and Mike, is Mike Rollman your travel agent?
He was, and he did a fantastic job, very responsive, great person to work with. And they gave us an onboard credit, which we were able to get the photo package with.
Shane, any other questions of things we didn't cover? This was great.
I don't think so. I mean, no, I'm just ready to go again. Like, this gets me so excited.
We're going in November, so you guys have just built the excitement for me. Build it for Shane. Shane is what are you, a platinum?
Yeah,
Platinum Castaway.
I'm almost a 10. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Or what is it? Is it?
I'm gold until you get to 10.
You're gold. You'll be a platinum.
Wow.
You guys, Austin and Meredith, are silver.
Yeah. That's okay. They'll be coming back. I will tell you.
I'm not silver yet, but I can't wait.
Not yet, Michelle.
I know.
In November, you got to have us back on, and we'll do your role, and we'll ask all the questions.
Oh, that would be great. We love that. Thank you. We'll take you up on that. You can interview me, and Shane will color commentate, since she's going to be leading me on this adventure.
I could talk forever about cruises.
I mean, I was very skeptic, and I think we were on the ship for an hour, and I said, you know what? I'm a cruiser now.
That's the first thing she texted to me.
I did. I texted Meredith.
I
said that to Shane. I go, Meredith's a cruise girl now.
I am, Shane. I get it.
Good.
Well, everybody, that is a wrap. I encourage anybody who's watching to make a note in the comment if you have other questions, either for Shane, who has a lot of experience, or for Austin and Meredith as first-time cruisers. We will absolutely answer that. We'll get their reaction and answers to that. And please comment, like, share, and most importantly, what, Shane?
Make all your moments magical.
She missed it. Most importantly, subscribe.
Oh, that too.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, we do want to make our moments magical, but please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. This is going to be a cruise series for Shane and I. As we get closer, we will probably start talking about our itinerary. We're going to 4 islands. Castaway Key is one, but Jamaica, Cozumel, Grand Cayman. We have a 7-night. We've got a lot of stuff to plan. We'll be talking about that. We'll probably ping us below if you want to talk about cruising. We would love to do what we've just done with Austin and Meredith and have you join Take 10 with Shane and Michelle to talk cruising. As Shane said, she can talk it all day long. I feel like I said on our last one, I feel like I have a PhD just through other people on cruising. I haven't done it yet, but more fun things to come. Now, Shane, let's close it out.
Make all your moments magical.
In Florida, Disney Cruise Line and beyond, everybody. Take 10.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Subscribe.
thank you.
Thank you.